Zeke the Plumber. The name alone is enough to spark traumatic memories in so many people, and just looking at this guy, it's really not hard to see why. He's terrifying, a mask made of sunken eyes and a bloody bandage in place of his missing nose. Not to mention his abilities to plunge into your mind and pry out your deepest fears. He's horrifyingly uncanny, and what makes it worse is that he showed up in the middle of a show that had nothing to do with horror. Zeke the Plumber is featured in an episode of Salute Your Shorts, a show that came out in the 90s about a summer camp called Camp Anawana and a group of kids that get into plenty of funny adventures with lots of crazy hijinks. It's a really fun show, but while we may look at it fondly, most of us remember it because when we were least expecting it, they traumatized us with the curse of a plunger and the ghost of a terrifying plumber. This is the most disturbing episode of Salute Your Shorts, Zeke the Plumber. Now, the characters in Salute Your Shorts are the classic stereotypes of what you'd expect to see in any summer camp. And for this episode, the most important characters are going to be the main kid, Michael, the bully, Bobby Budnick, and the tom girl, Telly. There's also the camp counselor, Kevin Lee, and man, I forgot how brutal TV was back in the day because the kids just call him Ugg, like Ugg Lee. And I rewatched the pilot episode and it's so funny because all the kids just start chanting ugly at him. Like, I'm pretty sure if I were in this situation, I'd just start crying.
Ugly, 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 ugly.
It's so mean, but it is so funny. With the start of this episode, the camp activity of the night is telling scary stories, and Budnick comes out swinging. A lot of people mistake this episode for an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? It's got a lot of similar vibes, you know, kids around a little fire telling terrifying stories in a show that was targeted towards a younger audience. And while this isn't Are You Afraid of the Dark, there's no doubt in my mind that this story would have gotten Budnick accepted into the Midnight Society. He tells us the story of Zeke the Plumber, the old plumber of Camp Anawana who used to plunge all the toilets with no complaint due to him not having a nose or a sense of smell. And I love the backstory of his missing nose.
He got his nose bit off by a parrot in the Philippines.
Oh.
It's so random, but alright, noseless Zeke from the Philippines. He accidentally hits a gas pipe, but he can't smell the gas due to his lack of nose. And then,
boom! Zeke was a human party popper.
Man, a human party popper? Dang, Budnick's got some freaking crazy descriptions, man. The only thing they found left of Zeke was his upper lip and his plunger, which is now said to hold a curse on it where anyone who touches it will be haunted by the ghost of the dead plumber. And, both Michael and Telly hold the plunger. But this is all just a story, so I'm sure they'll be just fine.
Sweet dreams.
The kids all head to bed, but that night Michael wakes up to find a strange man plunging a toilet in the middle of his cabin.
Friends call me Zeke.
This whole scene is so haunting. I mean, it's dark and nearly silent, with the sloshes of plunging being the only real noise we hear. It's already a frightening idea just waking up to having your environment change. Your friends are missing, and a stranger is in the room. But then we get our first good look at Zeke, and this image was burned into our minds forever. Zeke's off-kilter stare is bad enough, but they also did their best to give him a scary voice, and they filled his scenes with such terrifying imagery, like this, when he reaches into the toilet and pulls out the dripping carcass of Michael's childhood stuffed animal. This stuffed animal is one of Michael's deepest secrets, but Zeke has the ability to pull memories from the minds of his victims with his cursed plunger, so nothing is a secret from this dead plumber.
Come on. Let's see what else you have inside your head.
No! No!
Him going after Michael with the plunger is a really scary moment, but fortunately Michael wakes up before Zeke can get any more of his secrets. Alright, so that was Michael, and now let's check on Telly, who also touched the cursed plunger. She falls asleep, and just like Michael, she sees Zeke in her dreams.
I'm Zeke the Plumber. I'm the custodian who grants you wishes.
Alright, so this is a different approach than we saw with Michael. But we see what Zeke is up to when Telly wishes that she was a professional ball player, and instead of being a sports star, her biggest fear is realized when she's dressed in an elegant gown and forced to dance at a ball. Her biggest fear is basically not being a tomboy anymore, and Zeke zeroes in on that fear.
I gotta get out of this ball. I gotta get out of this ball. I gotta get out of this ball. I gotta get out.
The ending to the scene, it's so weird and rapid, which really made this whole dream sequence suddenly feel like the nightmare that it really turned into. Also, I noticed a stagehand standing behind Zeke at one point, and I love how you can see the cameraman in the disco ball's reflection. Like back when these were on TV in in like 480p, you just couldn't see any of these things, so I love catching them now with all these rewatches I've been doing. After Telly wakes up from her nightmare, she and Michael talk, but Budnick overhears and then makes fun of them for being scaredy cats. So they decide to do what kids do and challenge him to a bet, saying that he'll need to stay in the woods alone all night and in the exact spot where Zeke the Plumber died all those years ago. If he can do that without getting scared, then Michael and Telly will both realize their nightmares. So Michael will show everyone his secret stuffed animal, and Telly will have to wear a frilly dress. But if Budnick loses, then he'll have to stand up in front of the entire camp and admit that he's a big ol' wuss. Also, his little taunting laugh, it's so funny to me.
You're on, wimps.
So they all walk Budnick into the woods and give him some snacks and supplies so that he won't starve overnight. But the campers have a little something up their sleeve. Of course, they want to sabotage Budnick. Even Glee, the counselor, is in on it. The boys and girls split up each to do their best to come up with different ideas and ways to scare Budnick. But there's something that I loved in this episode, and that's how smart and prepared Budnick actually is. A lot of times the bully character is also kind of a bozo, and, Budnick has his moments. He's got plenty of them throughout the show, but there's also stuff like this. We see Budnick use his supplies to make traps for the other campers that he knows will try and scare him. He uses potato chips for a sound alarm, shaken up soda as like a spray trap, and the way he's shaking them, it just looks like he's trying to strangle someone. And he fills a cooler with some rocks and hangs it from a tree. Now at first I thought that this was going to fall on someone's head, so like this would totally just kill someone. So I thought Budnick was completely going off the deep end, but no, it's a different kind of perfectly non-deadly trap that he'll use later. We also see that he's a little bit afraid of spiders, but none of the other campers know that, so it's no big deal. A bit later, it's time to execute the campers' plans. The girls sneak towards Budnick with tights over their faces, but they sound his chip alarm so he knows they're coming. He makes a fake him with a melon and some of the spare clothes that he was brought, and when Telly tries to scare him, the head falls off, and instead it ends up scaring the girls. He then scares them even worse while hiding inside of a barrel. And when he's done, he gloats and drops one of the greatest lines of all time.
I'm the master of the universe! Nobody can scare me!
So, the girls did not succeed in scaring Budnick. But the boys, well, they don't do much better. They sound the alarm and trip on the soda trap and end up just getting sprayed while Budnick laughs at them. He ends up calling everyone out and gloating to their faces, since at this point, he's pretty sure he's won the bet. So, the other campers all leave, but Budnick hears someone else walking around in the woods. And if he wasn't scared before, well, that is about to change.
My name is Zeke the Plumber, and I've come to collect your head in my bucket.
With the ghost plumber on his heels, Budnick sprints into the woods. This chase scene, it's on such a budget, it's wonderful. And I love seeing the straight shots of Budnick running because he's clearly just pretending. But it still does a pretty good job of keeping things really intense, especially when Budnick falls and Zeke finally catches him.
I can smell your fear.
Budnick begs for his life, but Zeke says that he can see inside of his head, and he can see all the bad things that Budnick has done around the camp. The bully starts to admit to a lot of things that he's done, before he reveals that once again, he's not one to be messed with.
You obviously knew I was luring you into a trap.
What trap?
This trap.
Budnick says that he knew Zeke wasn't the real Zeke the moment he said that he could smell his fear, because Zeke doesn't have a nose. And then we get the Scooby-Doo unmasking to see that Zeke was actually ugly the whole time.
Ugly, ugly, ugly.
Budnick runs back into the woods, elated to have won the bet and defeated all the other campers. That is, until he runs into a spiderweb and runs into the woods screaming in fear. The other campers all listen in joy as Budnick screams, and then they go and confront him and mention that they've all won the bet. And with that, the terrifying tale of Zeke the Plumber comes to an end. Although we do see at the very, very end, they left Ugg hanging all night, and he's not too happy about it. This episode of Salute Your Shorts will live on forever in so many memories and so many nightmares. Zeke the Plumber is like a kid-friendly version of Freddy Krueger and Leatherface combined. I don't think they meant for his mask to be as scary as it was. They might even have been going for something like semi-realism. But because of that, they stumbled upon a terrifying design for a traumatizing episode of an otherwise light and comedic TV show. I love how creepy they got with the nightmare sequences. I mean, the shot of the stuffed animal coming out of the toilet, or like Telly muttering about how she needs to wake up, those were clearly made with the intent to scare the audience. And you know what? Great job. Mission accomplished. I mean, here we are, 30 years later, and if you search Zeke the Plumber, what you'll see are threads filled with hundreds of comments from former children that were terrified of this guy. So, yeah, that's the most disturbing episode of Salute Your Shorts. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like and consider subscribing. And if you've got a memory of Zeke or want me to cover disturbing episodes from your favorite show, then let me know in the comments below. As always, a huge thanks to my YouTube members for helping to support the making of these videos, and if you're looking for a good way to support the channel, then check out some of our merch or consider becoming a member. It's only a few bucks a month, and you'll get early access to videos, some exclusive content, and your name read out at the end of these videos. Just like all of these lovely people. Thank you to Ladbag, Sarah, Vernetti, JT, Sarah Campo, Jordan King, Channel 27, Rory, Random Fook, Jessica Martinez, Nicole, Zerbleen, Puke97, April Farmentino, I Was Like Emilio, Stu the Human, Bogmeyer Sandman, Aaron Ritchie, Joseph Caldwell, Timu Korhoen, David Carmen, Chris Ovak, Paul A., Danielle Green, Quibi, Super Suplex, Kurakula, Sed Zizigi, Reaver Approach, Shelly March, Igor DaCosta, Kick Joe Ass, Brush Thoughts, and K. But until next time, all that's left for us to do is stand at attention, click your heels, and salute your shorts. Bye-bye! Coming up next on Nickelodeon, it's Salute Your Shorts featuring Zeke the Plumber.